Hello everybody, I am Daniel Clemens, the HEMA Vtuber, and today I am showing off my brand new outfit. Let us begin. This outfit is of course inspired by the Fusiliers uniform from Napoleon's Grande Armée. And for the benefit of the non-French speakers in my audience, Grande Armée is French for Grand Army. The Fusiliers were the primary line infantry in Napoleon's army, which meant it was their job to stand in neat little rows and fire muskets at anybody Napoleon didn't like. This outfit can be distinguished as a Fusilier uniform due to the red collar and cuffs and the short infantry saber known as a briquette. I also believe, and I may be wrong in this, that this is a later period uniform because the white lapels on my chest are closed rather than open. As I was modeling this outfit, I of course took inspiration from several different paintings from the time period, and I'd like to show off one or two of them. This is Grenadier of the Old Guard by Edouard de Taille, and this was my primary reference source. Obviously, a grenadier and a fusilier, two different types of infantry. So I did have to modify this uniform a little bit. Some examples are the fusiliers had the red collar. Obviously, this grenadier has a collar that is the same color as the rest of his coat. He also has some fancy red epaulets, and instead of the black shoes and gaiters, he has white gaiters on. Another difference is that his uniform lapels are open rather than closed, and something that he is wearing that I should be, but I wasn't really able to model it right, is the cross belt on his chest. These belts would hold the bayonet, the sword, cartridge boxes, grenades, and other objects like that. Another painting that I thought was very useful while creating this model is, of course, the famous Napoleon in his study. Now, one reason that I want to show this as sort of a historical fun fact is that famous gesture that Napoleon has with his hand in his coat. That was actually a really common pose for the time period. It is a pose that is intended to give an air of both being casual yet confident and capable. Napoleon definitely knew how to dress an army to the nines, but I probably would not be wearing this uniform if it were not for this sword in specific. This, as I have previously said, is a type of infantry saber called a briquette. They were very popular on continental Europe during the Napoleonic era, and I have this one because a friend of mine does 3D modeling as a hobby and asked me if I want a sword for my VTuber. I thought, yeah, that sounds amazing. Then my friend said, what type of sword in particular would you like me to make for you? And I had to think about it for a minute. I knew right away I did not want a fantasy sword design. It's not that I have anything against fantasy. It's just that as a HEMA focused channel, I thought my VTuber model should have a sword that you can point to it and say, this sword is from this time period in history. So my first thought was the Scottish basket-hilted broadsword. This is the kind of sword that I study under the Cateran Society, and it has essentially always been my main focus in historical European martial arts. I almost immediately discounted this sword though, because personally I would like an outfit that matches my sword, and there is no way I am ever going to try to draw a Scottish tartan in Vroid. It's just not going to happen. So if I can't have a broadsword, maybe I should have something similar to a broadsword, something that is used in the same way. A cutlass, but not just any cutlass. A briquette cutlass with a D-guard hilt was exactly the type of sword for me. The briquette fits the main time period that I am currently studying. The first level of the Cateran Society is regimental swordsmanship, which is British swordsmanship from manuals specifically at the time period of the Napoleonic Wars. Another reason that it fits me is because even though I don't own a briquette in the specific sense, like I don't have a short curved blade with a brass D-guard hilt, I do own the cold steel cutlass, which is the same length as a briquette would have been. It's just that it has a hard plastic where the briquette would have a brass guard. This sword is my favorite sword for practicing cutting and edge alignment. It is also the sword that I would put in a bug out bag if need be. And also, my favorite kind of training sword is the Go Now padded Dusac, which again has the exact same length and hand protection as a briquette. And that is it. That is my new outfit, some of the historical information that I based it off of, and a little bit about my sword collection. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to see more of this snazzy outfit, like and subscribe because I am going to be wearing it for a while. Thank you very much.